Hi, welcome to Fluketronic. Up now we're going to start a new series, or continue a series, called Exploring the Copper Flute. Now last time we did an unboxing and I had a little fun with that. This time we're going to explore some aspects of the Copper Flute. Now this is a new flute design by Eric Räum. I'll give you links to his website. There's also a Facebook group called Playing the Copper Flute. I believe it's still a private group, but anyone is welcome to join. And if you're interested in this flute, then definitely sign up for that. There's lots of good videos and instruction and posts from the community there. So at present, there are only a couple dozen of these in existence. But I'm sure Eric will be turning out more, and hopefully by the time you see this, there will be more available. Now, so I wanted to look at this flute. Today we're just going to look at some physical aspects of it, and we'll do a little playing too. Okay, so I'm going to go vertical with this so you have a better chance of seeing my fingers and just the full extent of the flute. But today we're going to start by looking at the Copper Flute compared with its closest relative, which is the Chinese Xiao flute. I've got one here. This is actually the same key of C. And the first observation when I played this in the unboxing was that it was a lot longer than the Xiao. Now that's kind of deceptive because really, in order to get a direct comparison, you really have to compare the blowing edge, which is right up against your mouth with the Xiao, but the blowing edge is really right here on the Copper Flute. So if you line those up, you can see that the finger hole placements are not all that different. I'm trying to show you backside. Not sure if that showed up well with the back hole. Actually, the back hole is a little bit different, and we'll get into why. See if I can. It's a little bit lower on the Copper Flute, and we'll see why in a moment. So, what that means is now you've got two ways of playing the Copper Flute. One I showed in the unboxing. You can play without this air adapter, or what recorder players, bassoon players might call a vocal. Eric calls an air adapter. So if I take this off, there's a rim here, a little plastic insert, and you can play it direct. That's what I did during the unboxing. And when you do that, you've got all this extra length that is not on the Xiao to contend with. So you've got about a 4-inch longer reach to play direct. So in my case, that makes a big difference because I got kind of in trouble with this flute. I played it for a little while and said, hey, I want a better one. So I ordered one from Jeffrey Ellis, played that one over the course of a weekend, and started getting in trouble with my wrist and just kind of the wrist angle with the reach. So I know if I play this Copper Flute for any length of time, I'm going to run into the same issue. So I'm going to probably play this mostly with the air adapter, because what that lets you do is get your fingers up, and of course you can hold it wherever it's comfortable, but you can get it even higher up than you could with the Xiao. So if I'm holding the air adapter, and it's really hard to talk with at the same time as hold this, but I can get my finger position in a much better and more ergonomic position. I want you to look at the kind of angle of my right wrist especially. So that just gets it in a much more ergonomic position for playing. Now, speaking of ergonomics, the other factor to deal with the Copper Flute is the weight. So I have not put this on a scale, but this might be my heaviest flute actually. Certainly, well, maybe a bass flute, Native American style flute might be a little heavier. But certainly this copper is, there's a good heft to it. Now it's not unwieldy or certainly just holding here, I'm not having trouble. But I think with longer sessions, and especially if I was playing from here, I think I would get in trouble with just with my hands and wrists pretty quickly. So that is one thing to contend with. Having said all that, let's do a sound sample of both Copper Flute and the Xiao. And then we will talk a little bit about the tuning difference, and that'll probably be it for today. So let's go ahead and give you an idea of what these sound like back to back. Okay, so you can see I'm out of practice with that particular Xiao bit. Having a little trouble with the second octave there. But right off the bat, you can hear some of the differences. Now, this is not a particularly high quality Xiao. Now, this is a great starter Xiao. I think it was like 40 bucks shipped from China. So given that, it's a really incredible value. And if you want to get into Xiao, I would not hesitate to recommend this company, and I'll give you a link down below if you're interested in that. But if you are, I would also recommend starting with a higher key. Step higher is the D root, or Xiaos, we call that a G, key of G Xiao. But anyway, you can hear that the Xiao is quite a bit louder than the Copper Flute, and that's by design, I believe. So it's not a good or bad thing. It's just a playing characteristic. And you may have noticed the other big difference between the Xiao and the Copper Flute is in the tuning of the back hole. So what that means, and we'll take a deeper look at all the notes you can get out of this. But this is tuned to a key of really F major, or the relative minor, D minor is what I was really playing there. And what that lets you do is get that B flat note, which is the fourth step up from F. It lets you get that as a direct hole. So you just open the back hole and you get that B flat. On the Xiao, if you open the back hole, you get B natural. And to get B flat, you have to do like a cross fingering, like, you know, top three without the thumb hole. So that is the kind of big difference tuning wise between the two. All right, I think that's all for today. Kind of covered all the physical aspects, and next time we'll get into all the note differences. All right, thanks for watching.